public school for a total of 12 weeks. This kid was an unusual active child. He was prone to disorientation and was considered stressful by his teachers. Some of his teachers even told him he was too stupid to learn anything. When he reached adulthood, he didn't have much more success in his workplace. He was fired from his first job for not being productive. Now, I want you to look at the picture of this light bulb. This was the first light bulb ever created, and the one who invented it was Thomas Edison in the year 1879. For all of you who didn't know, Edison made 1,000 unsuccessful attempts at inventing the light bulb. But he never gave up, so at his 1,001 attempt, he makes it work out differently. Thomas Edison was an inventor, and he is acknowledged for helping to build America's economy during the Industrial Revolution. So what if I tell you that Thomas Edison and the little kid from the beginning are the same person? Impressive, right? When Thomas was a little kid, his teachers told him he was too stupid to learn anything. So instead of encouraging him and helping him to promote his creativity, he had to do it all alone. What I want to talk about today is that the majority of schools don't encourage students to be creative. However, there are some ways to improve the teaching of creativity. You know, I think schools affect children's creativity in a bad way. The thing that moved me to do this TED-Talk was that I recently realized it was really hard for me to do a project that is based on my creativity because I get blocked. So I find it really hard to make projects out of my creativity. So I started researching, and what I found out was that we are born with natural and gifted imaginations. But according to a test made by NASA, 98% of children are born with innovative creativity. But as we reach adulthood, that percentage drops to a really low average. So it makes us question ourselves. Does school lower creativity in their students? In 1968, Professor George Lang organized a test on 1,600 kids with 5 years old to measure their creativity. Then 5 years later, he returned to the same test to the same 1,600 kids. Finally, he passed the same test when the kids were 15 years old. With his test, Lang proves that creativity lowers with the passing of the years. The results he obtained were pretty surprising. At the age of 5, 98% of kids reached a level of genius in creativity. At the age of 10, that percentage extremely decreased from 98 to 30%. When the kids were 15 years old, that 30% dropped to a 12%. George proved with his test that all people are born with a high creative capacity that is lost as we are being educated. In a recent TED Talk made by Sir Ken Robinson, he affirms that school do kill creativity, and to prove his point, he said that we don't grow into creativity, we grow out of it, or rather, we get educated out of it. So what Sir Ken Robinson is claiming is that school teaches literature and reason, but it erases our creativity. We are brainwashed to forget our creative side. Yet, he also claims that creativity is as important as literacy, and we should afford it at the same level. In his TED Talk, Ken Robinson said that a teacher's job is not just to relay information that they're learning to their students. They are not just to be simply a delivery system. That's part of it, but there's so much more. Teachers are the entity of schools' success. Their job should be to foment, encourage, and advise students. A real-life example is the early life of Gillian Lynn. When she was 8 years old, teachers had already marked her as a problem student with learning difficulties, just because she was incapable of sitting still and concentrate. So her mother took her to see the doctor so he could explain Gillian's bad behavior and prescribe her medication. When the doctor saw Gillian dancing with the music of the radio, he told her mother that Gillian wasn't sick, she was a dancer. At the age of 92, Gillian could look at her past and her accomplishments were a lot, from a long career in ballet to musical theater, who became one of the world's most successful choreographers of all times. Some of her works were Cats and the Phantom of the Opera. Yet, when she was young, her school marked her off because they misunderstood her remarkable talent for a bad behavior and not being able to learn. The education system taught us that not being right is the worst result of everything, and there isn't a better example than the standardized tests that they put through the years to measure kids' intelligence and the school's academic average. Throughout the years, we are forced to upset the cruel truth, the paradigms of right and wrong. So when we have an idea that doesn't fit the description, it is turned down because it doesn't have the same specifications that they want. There are about 30 ways to improve the teaching of creativity. I'm just going to tell you the main ones. The first one is to accept creativity has the same way like learning. Creativity should be to show them the different ways of solving a problem and creating a solution to a real-life problem. Another one is to think of creativity as a skill. It can be taught. A teacher's job is about finding ways to encourage their students. The third one is to use emotions to connect things. Research suggests that the best way to improve your creativity is by linking them to your emotions. One of the most important is to see creativity in a positive way. If schools are going to promote creativity in kids, they need to teach them how to embrace it too. The best way to teach students how to embrace their creativity is by rewarding them for thinking of many solutions to a problem. They need to recognize students' efforts. Another important thing is that schools need to understand is that they need to allow room for mistakes, and they just don't understand that standardized tests is the complete opposite. It teaches students that there is only one way to solve the problem. Okay, Sir Ken Robinson in his TED Talk said that if you're not prepared to be wrong, you'll never come up with anything original. So, going back to this first question, does school kill creativity? No, but if schools don't change their program systems, students could eventually lose their creativity. To not affect creativity in a negative way, they should follow the most important lessons. The first one is that schools need to provide the creative subjects, the extracurricular classes that involves visual and performing arts. The second one is to see creativity in a positive way. If schools are going to promote creativity in kids, they need to teach them how to embrace it too. Now, I want you to paint a picture. If schools follow these two important lessons, kids will follow their dreams and embrace their true selves without losing the main reason of going to school, that is to gain skills and learn. Thank you.